Let's get into Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week is this lady makes an abortion altar. She's doing an abortion ritual, it looks like.
Building an altar for your abortion can be a really cathartic procedure. I like to always have a candle going on my altar.
That way the demons come.
So there's always light within the darkness. I also really like to add the abortion pills themselves to the altar to really bless the pills that we're going to be taking into our bodies during this process.
Blessed by whom? Yeah. Who do you think this ritual is honoring here? I don't think it's God.
The container of which you plan to put the products of conception or the fetal remains within to catch that after you've passed it and save it for later when we find a way to bury or otherwise to where we find a way to properly dispose of the fetal remains in a way that gives reverence and respect and support to this sacred abortion experience.
To give respect. It's like you took a pill to flush out the baby. Now you have to give respect and reverence. I don't know who you think you're building this altar for. I think you're going to summon demons.
Yeah, this is just a total white woman moment. You think you're doing something, but you're lost. You're a crazed person.
You're way off. There is something deep in your heart for rituals and procedures and having reverence for something larger than yourself.
And know this is larger than yourself, right?
Yeah.
To an extent. You're doing something major. This is a major event, right?
And it's not you're getting your communion or you're getting baptized or something. Unfortunately, you're creating an altar for the devil. Moving on, the Maps lady.
I had to make sure that wasn't satire too, by the way. That I was like, all right, let me check her profile. Let me check this stuff because
it checked out, not satire.
Yeah, but it was just I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So
yeah, definitely not satire. Sometimes we get tricked here on the show.
You got tricked last week.
Yeah, that French guy having a freak out over the credit card getting declined. He's yelling at his dad. This is so embarrassing. That was a comedian, apparently.
So apologize.
Apologize.
All right. All right. The minor attracted person. This one's going around. This will be everywhere by the time our show is released, just because it's so bad.
This just dropped.
Want to talk about minor attracted persons because they
sex
are
therapist?
Probably the most vilified population of folks in our culture. And most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them. And those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized population. You may have noticed that I'm using the term minor.
I want to get to one more point. Yeah, I mean, you know what she's doing, guys, and you see the glasses, you see the bald haircut, you know what she's up to in life.
Yeah, we're causing harm to the pedophiles.
Yeah, you can't have that.
Yeah, let them be less restrained.
One of my favorite things is she kind of says she goes on to say, we're not going to play the whole thing. You already know her vibe. She goes on to say something about how I like naming that doesn't, it puts the person first. So it's not whatever. And it's like, guys, I don't care about Jim, the bartender from San Diego. The only reason I would care about someone is if they're a pedophile, right? Oh, okay, yeah, the person first. Oh, he's a basketball guy. He likes fishing. He does this. It's like, I don't care.
Pedophile or not.
Yeah, yes or no on pedophile, guys.
Yes or no on pedophile, exactly. It's basically a binary situation. And if you're a pedophile, there's not much more we need from you. We don't need to go out of our way to make people feel comfortable.
So yeah, Fleckus has been saying this on the show for a long time, the LGBTQ plus soft P.
It's all eventually leading to accepting this type of thing. So she seems like a radical now. She seems like she's, this crazy new idea. This will be more mainstream soon. They're just kind of testing the waters. Yeah. And they revisit it every 6 months, every year. They revisit it and they see what the resistance to renaming pedophiles is. And once the resistance gets to be low enough, then they do the next step.
Yeah.
So moving on, the mix teacher, the mix H.
Which mix? You want mix H first? Okay.
There's two mixes.
Today is my first
Let's
day
do
subbing
both
in
of them.
elementary school rather than a preschool, and in preschool you're just like teacher your first name, but in elementary school you're like Mr. or Mrs. last name. And so I've been trying to think and like decide what my teacher name is going to be, and I don't want to be Mrs. last name. Like I've never wanted to be Mrs. last name. So for a while I thought like Ms. last name would be okay, but like I don't know, I didn't love it. And then I was like, okay, how about Ms. H? Like Ms. H would be okay. But then last night I was thinking and I was like Ms. H just gives like the vibes of like a woman, and that just doesn't. And so I was like mix H, like that just like mix H just sounds that just and so now I'm having a gender crisis, but I'm also not quite brave enough to introduce myself as mix H yet. So
To kindergartners.
Ms. H it is for now.
I think she's.
And
Did
apparently
she
I
say
need to
first
update
grade
my
or
pronoun.
kindergarten?
I think she used to do preschool. Now it's, I think, kindergarten. And now she's not even doing mix H. She's going by Ms. H because she's not brave enough to say this in front of 5-year-olds.
She'll just say it to her TikTok followers, right?
Yeah. Why don't you? She's a substitute teacher. Why don't you just wheel the TV in and hit the button? That's it. These kids are 5 and 6 years old. You know, it's not really about you.
There's just such an aversion to being normal. It's like an I'm special, I'm different. I need to make these kids do something they've never done before.
It's like an opportunity. It's like, oh, I'm the substitute teacher. I'm with this class for 2 days. It's my chance to teach them how to be weird and not normal, and I'm mix H. It's like,
Give it
all
up,
right,
lady.
Just give it up. Do something else.
You want to see the other one who actually
Yeah.
has a student with her that she forces to bark an order?
Of course.
So my students call me. Why did you whisper it so quietly?
Because it's embarrassing.
She got shy. It's Mix Miller is what they call me. Though I'll say, I had a teenager call me Mr. Luke the other day, and I kind of loved it. What do you think about Mr. Luke?
These people are
So it doesn't matter. Mr. Luke, somebody called you the different thing. Look at the girl who she's like, get on cue. You're okay with this, right?
Yeah, you're okay with this. Is proof that everyone's okay with it. And the kid's like whispering.
Whispers through a mask.
Isn't that the worst? And those masks aren't like N95s or real masks. Those are just
Yeah, it's just a mouth marbler. It's just something to get you. Blah, blah, blah.
mix H. And then also it's what, the summer?
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess the new school year has started
Yeah.
and masks are back in.
Yeah, that's actually going to be good action for us. We're going to get a lot of material. I want to see some kids get smarter and start filming these teachers when they do the stupid shit. Because we get like the filtered, controlled by like, imagine you catch us on the side of the road and you confront us with something. It's like, it's going to be a lot different than what you see on the podcast, right? And so like these teachers do the controlled settings where they're telling you a story. They kind of like remembered their lines a little bit. So I want to see the unfiltered, like the mad teacher. I want to see you misgender your teacher, get mad, film it.
Yep.
I think we're going to get some good content this year
I think so too.
because they're taking more gains than ever.
Yeah. This is our year. Because they're empowered. They have Joe Biden in office.
Exactly. They're going to be emboldened.
They're looking for the right wing bad guys. So it's like they're going to be acting out, looking for pushback, and then that's going to be evidence of the bad guys.
Speaking of elementary school teachers and stuff like that, we have another small blurb. Did you see the Georgia couple charged with using their adopted children to make child porn?
It was the guy and his husband.
It was the two dudes, just two 20-something, 30-something dudes.
Who
Georgia
got a,
couple.
They got a baby.
Yeah, they've acquired a baby, much like, a few people we've seen. Won't name names. And then a follow-up to this, a tweet from this woman. We're going to have to blur out her name because she's not a public figure. She replies to this and goes, also, I would look at where the boys were coming from. Maybe their birth families were worse in their physical, emotional, spiritual, and psychological abuse. The boys could have been better off with loving sexual relationships. Parentheses, main problem is when they grow up and want romance.
What?
I don't even know what this woman's saying, but you go to her bio and it says elementary school teacher.
Is it potential satire?
It can't be. It can't be, dude.
Is she saying that the child porn relationship with the children was not that bad?
I think she's saying it's okay because wherever their birth families are, it might have been worse. I don't know why the assumption is physical, emotional, spiritual, and psychological abuse is just the assumption for kids.
Yeah, that's probably like a bigger picture, an argument for abortion. They'll be like, see,
Yeah.
we should have aborted this kid because, look, no one can take care of them after they're born.
Yeah.
That's their idea. Wow.
Yeah. So gay couples acquiring a baby, making child porn, and then the elementary school teacher is defending them. So
Yikes. Those
Nice.
are dark times.
nice society we're living in, guys.
Moving on, we're still in cringe. The Barstool guys
Tough.
are in cringe of the week this week.
Yeah. Couple tough things for them.
Yeah. So first they did like KFC Barstool is his name.
Yeah.
I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
He does like his minute rant or whatever. First of all, fix your audio.
He films on a phone in his apartment.
He's just like yelling in an echoing room. It's like, dude, fix your audio.
Barstool. Dave Portnoy's worth like $100 million.
You can't get like a lav mic on this guy.
I bet he's like, no, I'm doing it the way I want.
So he did some anti-Alex Jones rant. Let's play the first like 5 seconds of it.
On Thursday, a Texas jury ruled against Alex Jones, the world's biggest piece of human fucking shit, saying he must pay $4.1 million in compensatory damages to the parents from the children of the Sandy Hook massacre. On Friday, they lowered the hammer, ordering another $45 million in punitive damages, bringing the total to nearly $50 million. If you've been living under a rock, Alex Jones, the world's biggest conspiracy theorist and the most morally bankrupt person to ever walk the fucking planet Earth, said that the Sandy Hook shooting was not real, and that the parents of the
That's
children
good.
were...
So that's what he's saying. He's saying the most morally bankrupt person ever. Obviously, this guy's never even probably watched an Alex Jones video.
Yeah.
This guy also cheated on his pregnant wife.
Yeah, he did.
So he's calling Alex Jones morally bankrupt. He knows nothing about Alex Jones. He's saying he's a piece of human excrement.
Biggest human garbage. It's like, all right, bro.
He cheated on his pregnant wife. Isn't that way worse?
Yeah.
So we weren't going to go fully into the Barstool guys this week, but then they had another clip out. It was a different dude.
Before we go, I do want to say this is the same guy who said transgenders are beautiful in one of those.
Yeah.
So it's like they're already done. They gave it up. They're into the pander stage for this guy at least.
Yeah, and then they had a clip where they interviewed Aaron Rodgers, who's unvaccinated, and then look at this quick clip of what they said to him.
People say, "Oh, well, immunization, vaccination."
Yeah, I did. I said
Yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
But
How many people do you think you killed? What's your count?
How many grandmothers?
See, I
Let's
don't-
just do grandmothers.
I mean, I know you guys are fucking around. I don't find that part funny. I really don't.
So how many grandparents do you think you killed to Aaron Rodgers because he didn't get vaccinated? And it's like how many people did you guys encourage to get the vaccine who probably have like myocarditis or some sort of long life issue from the vaccine, some complication?
The
And some
insurance
young
companies.
person.
The insurance companies want to talk to you now. Like, you guys were pumping the vaccine a lot.
Yeah, how many young people did you guys encourage to get vaccinated that didn't need it that now have some lifelong complication? Probably a lot. And Dave Portnoy, who I don't hate. I like Dave Portnoy most of the time.
I like Dave Portnoy, usually.
We have the same enemies. He's a pro free speech guy. He always says, "Oh, this company's not political. It's not political. We're not a political company." But they push the vaccine. They are pro abortion. They pushed that Jon Stewart bill last week or whatever. They were on the Jon Stewart side.
Really?
They're pro Ukraine. So like. Then the CEO and a lot of people at the company are all pro choice, pro vacuuming babies out. So they're not a political company, but they seem to be taking a lot of like subtle political stances. So I will just say this, they're cringe of the week this week. Don't look for them to be like strong allies because eventually we'll be let down. It's going to come a time where we're going to need them to stand up for like a right-wing thing and they're not going to do it. And they weren't right-wing all along is the reason why.
I think you get conflated with right wing and like because Dave Portnoy is so against cancel culture and stuff because people try to come for him. They're like, you're a misogynist, you're this, you're whatever. And so like they kind of fight alongside you in that regard. Like, screw you, I'm not apologizing, I double down and stuff. But yeah, you're right. With the vaccination, Ukraine, I don't know how much they do on Ukraine. I'm sure KFC has some
Go Russia.
like Vladimir Putin, that piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right,
For
man,
sure.
I guess.
So it's like just because we both hate what's his name?
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Mike, the guy with the lip sore.
Oh, Mike Rappaport.
Yeah, just because we both hate Mike Rappaport does not mean these people are right wing. It's fine. Let them do their thing. I'm not calling for anyone to be canceled, but they don't see how high the political stakes are. They don't know what the fight is about. So we can't really look for them to be our allies in that fight. We have to just focus on our fight ourselves. We can use them as allies when the time comes for free speech and cancel culture or whatever. But bigger picture, let's make sure we're not seeing Barstool as like a right-wing company because they're not.
Yeah. Barstool just wants you to, talk about sports and do sports betting and gambling and shit. So,
Yeah, they're doing sports betting and gambling. They're pro hookup culture too. So it's like they don't have like the fundamental values that the right wing has, which is fine. They don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to.
And they're going to be labeled as right wing from the left, and it'd be a mistake to take that left's labeling of a right wing Barstool and saying, "Oh yeah, they are right wing," and welcoming them into the right.
Just because some extreme leftists call them right wing or something, doesn't actually make it true. So.
Exactly. Moving on. Next clip. This headbanger music clip.
Oh yeah, the mosh pit.
I hate this stuff. And these people in the front on stage are just like throwing punches and swinging their fists and like kicking people. It's a culture I really don't understand. And they just punch and they swing and they like hit each other. It's just, get away from me. When I was in high school, I went out with like a girl one time who was into that kind of music. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to a show this weekend. You want to come?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." Like not knowing what it was. And we went to a show and it was in like a strip mall, like a rented out like yoga studio strip mall. And it was music like this, and everyone was just like punching and throwing fists and kicking. I almost got hit. She almost got hit. It was just a real trash thing I did not like being involved in.
All right, not your scene?
Not my scene at all.
All right.
All right, last
That's
clip.
fair.
Last clip of Cringe of the Week. Fat fuck plane seats.
Yeah, this is so embarrassing. You have to admit this on camera.
Yeah.
You're tired of small airplane seats, then you need to watch this video. Two incredible travel bloggers that I know were recently featured in this article, and the FAA is now soliciting public comments on if airplane seats are too small. Let's talk about it. For the next 90 days, the FAA is going to be soliciting comments from the public on whether or not the seats are too small on airplanes. They are trying to set a minimum required seating standard for airplanes, and you should go ahead and submit a comment. In this article, it mentions that only 20% of people are currently able to fit in a standard airplane seat. So we definitely need to come
Is
together.
that true?
That's got to be a lie. 20%? I see a full plane fine every day.
Every single time I thought I fit fine in the plane seat. So it's like 20%. I don't know where that stat came from.
Dude, and this is so embarrassing. You have to be the face of the make airplane seats bigger movement.
Because I don't fit.
You're missing the point.
Yeah, we have to change everything for the fat fucks.
No.
Next, no shoelaces. Yeah. Make shoelaces illegal.
Velcro only.
Slide on shoes that you stomp your foot in and break the heel on.
Uber Eats should come all the way inside.
Yeah, we should have a new app where they drop the Uber Eats off at the door and then someone else from a different app comes, picks it up, and then just scrapes it into your gullet.
Yeah. This is like the body positivity, but like let's also bend the world to our will movement.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, hey, I don't mind extra space, but they're gonna charge us more on an airplane. You guys know that, right? You pigs. You pigs know that.
If it did result in like a 2-seat by 2-seat plane and everyone's kind of riding in first class, I wouldn't mind that.
Your ticket would be $800 instead of $400.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm not willing to take that hit for the pigs. I just eat it on the plane. I just sit like this and I go, all right, this is going to suck. I'm 6'3".
Yeah. And then you just get sent in the tube to wherever you're going and it's a couple hours and that's it.
Yeah.
That's how I see it too. Out of Cringe of the Week, and we